Hi everyone! Today's story takes us to a quiet beach. But this is not just another sunny day by the sea. It is a tale filled with mystery, emotions, and a message hidden inside an old bottle. It was early morning when Ava decided to go to the beach. The sky was pale with soft colors of pink and gold. The air felt cool and fresh, carrying the scent of salt and seaweed. Gentle waves rolled in and out, their sound like whispers against the shore. Ava loved coming here before the crowds arrived, when the world felt calm and almost secret. For her, the beach was not just a place for fun. It was a place where time slowed down. It was as if the sea breeze itself carried old memories back to her. Ava spread her towel on the sand. The ground felt cool under her fingers. She looked around at the wide beach. It was almost empty and very quiet, except for the soft sound of the waves. Far away, near the rocks, stood an old man. He was facing the sea, his back a little bent. He held something in his hands. From where Ava sat, she couldn't see it well. Maybe it was a fishing rod, or maybe just a long stick he used for balance. Ava watched him for a while. He didn't move much, as if he was waiting for something. She wondered why he was there so early. Did he come every morning? Or was this day special for him, just like it felt special for her? She took off her sandals and walked closer to the water. The sea was calm, its surface glowing with early sunlight. It felt like a peaceful day. But deep inside, Ava wasn't feeling peaceful at all. She had been thinking about her grandmother lately, the one who used to bring her to this exact beach when she was a little girl. She passed away 2 years ago, but Ava could still hear her voice saying, "Every wave carries a story." As Ava walked along the shore, something unusual caught her eye. A dark shape was half buried in the wet sand. She bent down and picked it up. It was an old, weathered glass bottle. Inside, a piece of paper was rolled tightly. Ava's heart skipped a beat. She had seen things like this in movies, but never in real life. A message in a bottle was now in her hands. She sat down on the sand and carefully opened the bottle. The cork was stuck, and for a moment she thought it would never come out. But after a few twists and pulls, it finally slipped free with a soft pop. Ava let out a small breath she hadn't realized she was holding. She tipped the bottle upside down and shook it gently. A roll of paper slid into her hand. Her fingers trembled as she unrolled it, afraid it might tear. The paper felt thin and fragile, like it had been waiting for years to be found. The writing was faded, the ink almost blending into the yellowed page. Still, the words were clear enough to read. Ava's eyes followed the letters slowly, almost as if she was afraid of what they might say. The note read, "To whoever finds this, I hope you can forgive me. I didn't know how to say goodbye." Ava blinked. That was all. No name, no date, no explanation. Just a short, lonely sentence. Ava stared at the short message, her heart heavy. It was so simple, yet it carried a weight she could feel in her chest. Who had written it? Why had they thrown it into the sea? And who was meant to be forgiven? For a moment, the sound of the waves seemed to fade. All she could hear was the silent echo of those words. She looked around, as if someone would suddenly appear to explain the mystery. The old man was still standing near the rocks. Could the bottle belong to him? It seemed unlikely. The bottle looked ancient, and the handwriting was old-fashioned, like something written with a fountain pen. The words on the paper made Ava feel strange, almost sad. Who needed forgiveness? Who couldn't say goodbye? She folded the note and kept it close to her chest for a moment. Every wave carries a story, her grandmother's voice echoed in her mind. Her grandmother always said the ocean was full of secrets, that every tide brought whispers from people who once loved, laughed, and cried. Ava wondered if this note was one of those whispers. Was it the story of someone who once stood on this same beach, unable to let go? Or was it a goodbye carried across oceans, meant for someone who would never read it? The day grew warmer, and more people started to arrive. Children ran along the sand, couples laid out blankets, and the air filled with laughter. But Ava couldn't enjoy it. She kept thinking about the message. She decided to walk to the old man. Maybe, just maybe, he knew something about it. "Good morning," she said when she reached him. The man turned slowly. His face was wrinkled like folded paper, and his eyes were kind but tired. "Good morning," he replied. "Sorry to disturb you, but do you know if people used to send messages in bottles around here?" Ava asked, feeling a bit silly. The old man smiled faintly. "Long ago, yes. Fishermen, travelers. Sometimes they wrote letters to the sea, hoping someone would find them." Ava hesitated, then showed him the note. "I found this today." The man looked at it for a long time. His expression slowly softened. "This handwriting, it reminds me of someone," he murmured. Ava's heart beat faster. "Who?" He looked out at the waves. "My wife used to write like this. Before she died, she wrote letters she never sent. Maybe one of them drifted away." His voice trembled slightly. Ava didn't know what to say. "I'm so sorry for your loss." The old man nodded slowly, then smiled, but it was a sad smile. "She always said the sea keeps secrets for us. Maybe you were meant to find it." Ava felt a lump in her throat. She looked at the note again, the simple line filled with regret. Maybe the old man's wife had written it when she didn't know how to say goodbye to him. Ava spent the rest of the day at the beach, but not in the way she had planned. She sat by the shore, thinking about goodbyes and how people leave pieces of themselves behind, like messages waiting to be found. She remembered the last time she saw her grandmother. She had wanted to say so many things, like how much she loved her and how grateful she was. But instead, she just smiled and waved. She never got to say a proper goodbye. Ava felt tears in her eyes. She held the note tightly, as if it could connect her to both the old man's wife and her grandmother. Before leaving, she decided to write something of her own. She tore a page from her notebook, wrote a few words, and placed it inside the empty bottle. Her hands were steady this time. The note read, "To whoever finds this, I hope you know you are not alone. We all carry stories we never tell." Ava folded the paper and placed it back inside the bottle. She walked to the water, set the bottle on the waves, and watched as the sea carried it away. The sun was setting now, painting the sky with orange and pink. Ava felt lighter, as if the sea had taken some of her sadness. When she turned back, the old man was no longer by the rocks. She searched for him along the shore, but he was already gone, leaving only the waves in his place. Ava wondered if he had come here simply for a moment, to remember, just as she did. That night, as Ava lay in bed, she thought of the message in the bottle. Somewhere, out there, another person might find it one day. Maybe they would read her words and feel the same connection she felt. She realized that the beach was more than just sand and sea. It was a place where stories crossed paths, where strangers' feelings could meet. And even though she came to the beach feeling heavy with memories, she left with something new. It was a quiet hope that every goodbye carries a hidden message, waiting for someone to understand. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you liked the story, kindly like, subscribe, comment, and share. Keep going, be kind to yourself, and see you again on Stories by the Window.